In under 5 minutes, you're going to be on the clock.
Okay.
Right? I know you're already like, what? Clock? Right? Yeah. What are the differences between hosting, software as a service, and a hosted private cloud? I think that those are three technologies. And again, I would see people go, well, that's the cloud. And so I think that, and again, I've had some great conversations with you, sort of getting down to, well, there is a difference. And so just, from your perspective, what are the difference between those three solutions? Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, and go.
Okay, so keeping it real, I'll try and keep it in the context of healthcare IT.
Yeah.
So when we talk about software as a service, let's start there. That's probably the technology you're most familiar with, whether you know it or not. So when we talk about systems that leverage a software as a service type of deployment, that's think of Gmail, of Skype, of Salesforce, particular to healthcare. That's Athena, that's Care Cloud, that's Practice Fusion. That's an application that's built to be delivered through the web, through web services. Mm-hmm. So there isn't a client, there isn't a big server, there isn't a whole set of software you install on clients. It's truly delivered through the web and in access typically through a browser, maybe with some extensions enabled or something like that. If we move down into hosting, so hosting, let's put a little bit of quick framework behind it. So let's take Centricity, NextGen, Allscripts, ECW, that mid-tier of EHR. We're going to use those as an example. There is no SaaS delivery. There is no web application version. So hosting is kind of the answer to that. And that is a process of taking those server resources that are required to run the system, and then the hosting partner creates a multi-tenant environment where that can be delivered through a virtual desktop, a Citrix session, a remote desktop server. So we're serving out cloud-based desktops that access those servers, those server resources at the hosting data center. Now, quickly, I want to talk about some limitations of hosting. You are really at the mercy of the hosting provider for updates, for performance, for potential third-party add-ons you want, for ownership of the data. You're really dependent upon how they manage it. Generally, you're logging into a common authentication platform, such as Active Directory, and you're getting put into different security groups, and that's how security is managed across this multi-tenant environment. And that's why here at True North, we're really advocates of the hosted private cloud model. And what that is that's more rooted in infrastructure as a service, to throw out more cloud buzzwords.
Awesome.
Yeah, right? And what that really gets down to is we're able to, or cloud providers are able to create a dedicated cloud data center, a virtual instance in the cloud that's dedicated to the customer. And what's unique about that is resources aren't shared. You aren't as susceptible to the noisy neighbor, and you have that granular level of control. It really resembles how you would put together an on-premise system design. So you maintain all that flexibility and you maintain all that control, but it's built into a nicely packaged cloud wrapper, if you will. And then you can work with different cloud providers that exist out there to help manage this application. So maybe you just want to manage the customization and workflows of this application. Let someone else manage all the servers and the networks. That's still possible. So the hosted private cloud model, again, or infrastructure as a service, just really combines the benefits of true cloud computing with the benefits of having on-premise resources.
Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah. Look, you beat the time.
How did I do on time?
Pretty good. Yeah. I didn't really time it. I wouldn't do that to you, man. I mean, I would, but I wouldn't tell you
Right.
if I were doing it. Okay, good. I like that. Again, insight. I really, even as you were explaining it, I'm like, okay, now I kind of understand, again, the deeper premise behind this hosted private cloud, this infrastructure as a service, which is not a term I've heard before, but as you said it, I went, oh, okay, now I get it. I sort of understand that piece.
Well, and again, I like to, let's put some examples around this. So the hosting solution. Hosting is a great fit for groups, probably 50 users or so, or 5 to 10 providers who don't have a lot of customization need. It's just, here's the application, it runs on this schedule, and these are the features you get, and here's the limited scope of customizability. That's fine for a lot of groups, but really when the hosted private cloud model starts to shine is at scale. When you've got people, you've got a DBA, and you want him to be able to go do custom data transforms against the database. When you need those sorts of things, that's where that really differentiates itself from SaaS, the SaaS model, which has a lot of the same limitations as hosting.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Again, great insight.